You also, at that time or during that point in time, had received an email from the intelligence section that Charles Jones, Julio Foolio, was in town in Tampa, correct?
Correct.
And as a result of that, what is MDT?
It's just our message system on our computers.
Were you also being updated or provided intelligence or additional communications as it relates to Mr. Jones and potentially his whereabouts or where he was intending to go or where he had been?
Yes.
Specifically about June 23rd of 2024 in the early morning hours. Were you working on that shift?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Where were you assigned approximately around 4 a.m.?
Roughly, we were at the Truth Lounge, which would have been about 48th and Bush Boulevard.
And when you say Truth Lounge, is that Truth 18?
Yes, ma'am.
And what jurisdiction or what county is Truth 18 located in?
It's in Hillsborough County in the city limits of Tampa.
At some point when you were stationed at Truth 18, did you receive a call regarding a hotel, Home to Suites, and the Holiday Inn located on McKinley?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Approximately what time did you receive that phone call?
I believe it was about 4:40 in the morning.
And based on that phone call, what did you do?
They told us that there was basically someone shot. At that point in time, my squad responded priority up to Home 2 Suites.
And how you're dressed today, is that how you would have been dressed back then in the same type of uniform?
Yes, ma'am.
And what sort of vehicle did you drive back in June of 2024?
At that, I had an unmarked Dodge Charger.
And you said that not only yourself responded to that location, but that your unit did. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I had 6 officers working for me that night, and all of us responded there.
Okay. And were they in different vehicles?
Yes, ma'am.
And were any of those marked Tampa Police officer vehicles?
Yes, all of those were marked.
Okay. Lights and sirens?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, before we go to that, what happened at the Home to Suites, I want to ask you said you were at Truth 18. Is that correct?
That's correct.
When you were at Truth 18, were there any incidences or disturbances at Truth 18 while you were there?
No, ma'am.
Had you had any information that a rapper from Jacksonville was going to be there that night?
At that point in time in the night, no. We knew he was in the area, but not at Truth 18.
Okay. And so there was nothing that was alerted or out of the ordinary to your knowledge at Truth 18 while you were there?
No, ma'am. It was just the normal crowd that we were trying to keep control of.
And then after you received that call at 4:40 for shots fired, what did you do at that point?
Like I said, I left the parking lot near Truth 18, proceeded basically westbound on Bush Boulevard and then northbound on 40th Street towards the hotels.
How far is Truth 18 from those hotels, the Home to Suites and the Holiday Inn that are located on McKinley?
I'd say roughly about 3 miles.
How quickly were you able to get to that location?
I don't know, less than 2-3 minutes.
What did you see when you responded to that location?
As I was coming northbound on 40th Street towards Fowler Avenue, I saw a dark, like silver Hyundai coming, that would have been westbound on Fowler Avenue towards 40th Street. At that point in time, the vehicle decided to make a left-hand turn onto 40th Street, drive over the curb, and go into the parking lot.
At that point, did you know anything about that vehicle?
No, ma'am.
What was the information that you received regarding the shots fired call?
Basically, there's just somebody shot in the parking lot, and
And
possibly
so,
in the hotel.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
So when you saw that erratic behavior by that gray or silver Hyundai, what did you do?
I proceeded after that car thinking it would possibly be involved. At that point in time, I still had my lights and sirens on, tried to stop that vehicle. We drove to the south side of Home 2 Suites, then back to the west, and came all the way around near the Holiday Inn and pulled up in the parking lot and finally stopped.
Okay. And what happened when that vehicle finally stopped?
That vehicle stopped. There was a female that got out of the driver's side, a male and a female got out of the passenger side, and they started yelling about helping their friend who was in the vehicle to my right that I noticed that was all shot up.
Okay. And was that the first time that you had noticed that vehicle that had all been shot up?
Yes, ma'am.
And where was that located?
It was basically 10 feet away from where that vehicle stopped to my right.
Okay. And can you describe, I know that you said that there was a female that was yelling, as well as there were two other individuals. Was it, I think you said another female and a man, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there other units or other agencies that were responding to that location, as well as officers from the Tampa Police Department?
Yes, USFPD showed up.
Okay. And what did you do at that point?
At that point, I listened to them. They said, you know, the shots. I looked over at the car, noticed it had bullet holes in it. I went over to the car to check the person inside to see if there was any life or anything I could do for life-saving matters at that point in time. I noticed he was deceased at the time, and then saw a blood trail heading into the Holiday Inn.
And is that the standard protocol to focus on any sort of victims first?
Yes, we would concentrate on life-saving efforts first and then go from there.
And can I ask you to describe the jury specifically? You said one victim, is that correct? Was there only one person in the vehicle that had the gunshot on the vehicle?
At that point, there was one subject in the vehicle, it was a male subject. It looked like he was going from the passenger seat into the back seat, and he was laying down like between the center console and towards the back seat.
Was there anyone else in the vehicle or around the vehicle at that time?
At that point, no, all the doors were open and the vehicle was just him.
And you said that there were no signs of life, is that correct, from the individual that was inside the vehicle?
That's correct. He wasn't breathing and there's no pulse.
Okay. And then you said you noticed a blood trail, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, at this time, the state's going to introduce into evidence State's Exhibit 22A through M, as well as 3A through P, and State Exhibit 6A through Q.
Okay, any objection, Mr. Gonzalez?
No objection.
Any objection, Mr. Sonardi?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Wise?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Petraeus?
No, Your Honor.
They'll be admitted.
Sergeant Corman, I'm going to direct you to the screen in front of you, and I'm going to start with 6A. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you describe for the jury what is being depicted in 6A?
The gray vehicle to basically the left of the black Dodge, that's the vehicle I stopped with the doors open. And
This
then
vehicle right here that I'm pointing to in the center?
Yes, ma'am. And then the black Dodge is with the broken out window, and you can see the bullet holes in the front of the windshield.
And where these vehicles are placed, is that where the Dodge vehicle was when you rolled up on the scene following this gray vehicle right here?
Yes, ma'am. I would have been, when I stopped that car, I would have been behind that gray vehicle and then walked up to that vehicle.
And is that exactly where the gray vehicle stopped when it returned back to the scene?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said that there were 3 individuals in there, is that correct?
That's correct.
Were those individuals later left with the USF Police Department while you and members from your unit responded to the hotel?
Yes, we proceeded into the hotel because at that point in time we didn't know if there was an active shooter in the hotel because of the blood trail or what was going on. So I asked USF PD to stand outside with the 3 people that were outside and to secure basically the scene from where the deceased was at.
I'm going to show you 6B, a close-up of that black Dodge Charger. And is that, can you kind of see the individual in the red shirt right there?
Yes, ma'am. That would be the deceased and how he was laying in the vehicle.
And is what you described, is that correct?
Yes,
Kind
ma'am.
of in between the seats.
That is correct.
And then 6E, what's that?
It's the same vehicle with the deceased laying in the vehicle, just from the driver's side.
And then obviously 6F, these doors are open later after a crime scene is there, is that correct?
That is correct. I would have went in the passenger door on the rear side just to check on pulse and see if there's any breathing at that time.
And that's what you did in this case, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And other than check for pulse, would you have disturbed anything else other than to check for signs of life of the victim?
No, ma'am.
After you checked for signs of life, would the car have been secured and protected by Tampa Police Department until crime scene could respond to document everything as it was?
At first, USFPD, because I left them with it, and
Yes, sir.
then we took over and secured the whole crime scene so nobody else touched it.
And as well as until the medical examiner gets here as well, is that correct?
That is correct, ma'am.
And I think you said you made some observations of that Dodge Charger. I'm going to show you. Can you describe what's being shown in 6G?
It's just the rear of the Dodge, the busted out windows, and the shattered glass probably from the gunfire.
Did you make any other observations of that vehicle when you first rolled onto it?
No, ma'am. Other than, like I said, the blood trail leaving the car.
And where did that blood trail lead?
Led to the Holiday Inn.
Okay. And I'm going to, I previously showed you 3A through P. Was that a depiction of the different trail of blood leading from the car back to the Holiday Inn?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you. Can you tell us what's in 3A?
The Dodge vehicle that the deceased is in is to the left, and then you'll start to see the blood trail leave towards the hotel on the curb.
3B?
Just crime
I'm
scene,
gonna
crime
make-
scene pictures, and then number 1 and number 2 are showing where the trail's starting to go to.
Sergeant, if you need to stand up to point out something to the jury, you can.
Yes, ma'am.
And are they designated by where these yellow cones are then placed by crime scene?
Yes, ma'am. That's crime scene laying those out before they actually take the photos.
And then are close-ups taken so that you can actually see what you were pointing out? Is this what is being depicted in 3C?
That is correct, ma'am. That would have been, they do a farther back shot, and then they take a close-up, and then number 1 is where the first blood started
Is
from the
that right
vehicle. Yes, ma'am.
And then what is in 3D?
That will show, well, you can see the blood trails going up this way, so the droplets that are pointed out heading towards the hotel.
Let me show you the close-up 3E. Again, can you point it out? Because I think this is a little bit better photo of that.
Yeah, I took another photo. These are all the blood. And it's a little dried out from what it actually looked like the time that I was there in the morning.
And does crime scene take a photograph so that people can orient where the location of the picture is and then follow it up with a close-up?
Yes, ma'am.
What is being shown in 3F?
That's just going to be the continuation. The number 2 droplet is down this way, and that's towards the hotel. So it's heading up the grass line towards the hotel.
And is that what's indicated with crime scene marker number 3?
Yes, ma'am.
3G?
Same thing. You see the droplets in the bottom corner.
3H?
And you can see how the droplets are heading from 4 to 5. It's all these little drops that are heading all the way out towards the entrance of the hotel.
And then 3I, is that a close-up of marker number 4?
Yes, ma'am. It shows all the droplets again.
State 3J?
This is on this is the sidewalk pathway towards the hotel.
K, another photo to orient where 5 is.
Correct. And the front, you can obviously see the front of the hotel as far as the top end as it goes towards number 6.
Tell us what's in 3L.
See the heavy blood droplets that are continuing towards the front door of the hotel, towards number 6. That's the Holiday Inn.
3M.
This is going to be the entryway into the hotel, and the droplets down by 6, and it continues on inside.
3-7.
This is going to be the entryway.
I'm sorry,
into the,
3N. I apologize.
will be the entryway into the hotel. You see the blood on the doors as they go in.
3O.
Yeah, it's just the entryway to the hotel.
And then 3P.
Be the entry into the lobby way to the hotel.
Now, you said after you determined that the victim was not breathing and there were no signs of life, that you and your unit responded to that hotel because of the blood trail. Is that correct?
That's correct, ma'am.
How many people were with you at that moment?
Would have been 4 to 5.
And those were officers all with Tampa Police Department, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And was there a USF police officer who was tasked with staying there with those 3 individuals that were in the gray car that identified themselves as being with the victim?
Yes, ma'am. I believe it was a USF sergeant that I talked to that was on scene.
And so tell us what happened as you are responding up to that hotel.
Like I said, my officers went into the hotel right away because we didn't know what was actually going on inside the hotel after we saw the blood trail. They proceeded in, noticed the heavy blood trail inside, and there was a blood trail that goes all the way around the corner towards room 117 and also to the elevators.
As you are proceeding through that hallway, do you continue to see all of those blood droplets that are also on the floor inside of the hotel?
Yes, ma'am.
And are there individuals, guests that are in that area?
There's guests in the whole hotel, yes.
Are some of the guests coming out of the doorways or asking what's going on?
At that time in the morning, no. We didn't have anybody coming out other than when we knocked on certain doors to see if anything was going on inside the rooms.
And why were you knocking on certain doors?
Like 117 actually had a fingerprint on the door, so we thought one of the people that were injured possibly were in that room, so we knocked on that room, and those residents came to the door and said that there was nobody in there that was injured. So we figured that they proceeded towards the towards the elevator and went up the elevator, so one of the floors.
Did you guys give me the photos back of the inside? Okay, I got them. Judge, at this time, we would introduce into evidence State Exhibit 4A through S.
Any objection, Mr. Gonzalez?
No objection.
Mr. Sonardi?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Wise? Mr. Petratus? Be admitted.
Sergeant Portman, can you tell us what is in 4A? Let me unzoom out.
Yeah, this is going to be the lobby. That's the front desk for the hotel. That's the blood trail leading around to the hallway towards the elevators.
And this is a hotel of the Holiday Inn, correct? Not the Home to Suites?
Yes, the Holiday Inn, correct.
And then 4B?
This is going to be entering into the hallway. After down towards the elevators are going to be down to the right.
4C?
It's same part. It's just more of that hallway heading towards the elevators.
4D?
And it's the hallway wall That's towards the elevators.
4E.
That's going to be the one room off to the left is 117 that we actually checked on where all the blood's going to see if that's where the blood was actually at before you get to the actual elevators.
And you said that you did check to see whether or not anyone was injured in that particular room. Is that correct, 117?
Yes, that's correct, ma'am.
And was there anyone that was located in that area?
No, ma'am. There was people in there, but there was nobody injured in there.
And when you say people, guests of the hotel?
Yes, ma'am.
No one bleeding when you made contact with them?
There was nobody bleeding inside that room.
And then 4F?
It's just going to be in front of 117 and 119.
4G?
That's going to be right in front of 119 of that room.
And then 4H?
Is going to be the handle I was talking about with the blood and the fingerprint on it.
Okay. And that's what alerted you to 117, is that correct?
That's correct. Like somebody tried that door handle, either trying to get away or trying to get help, one of the two.
4I?
This is going to be where the elevators start and the blood trail in front of the elevators.
4J?
That's going to be inside, I believe, the left-hand elevator that was in the last picture. And that's the inside of the elevator.
And did units then proceed to the other floors?
Yes, ma'am. Like I said, we actually believe because of all the blood and everything going on, there could be a possible active shooter. So we were clearing the whole hotel. I had officers going on every single floor. And then two of my officers, Officer Conaway and Officer Gale, actually got to the third floor and found two subjects on the ground actually bleeding heavily. And we're giving them medical assistance.
And what is in 4K? I don't think I asked you that yet.
That's this elevator one.
And then 4L?
It's going to be the blood on what floor. But it looks like they're trying to hit floor 4.
4M?
It's more of the same. It's the blood that was inside the elevator at the time.
And you said that two of your officers proceeded to the third floor, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's when they came into contact with who?
They came in contact with these two subjects that were actually shot and injured.
And did you yourself proceed up to that floor?
I did eventually just to check on them to see if they needed anything else. And then once I found out what they needed, started to get fire rescue in there to give medical attention.
And then is 4N, is that a photo of the third floor?
Yes, ma'am. I'd be coming out of the elevator, and that's where the subjects were at, right there.
And when you checked on them, were those two subjects, did they appear to be, other than having been shot, were they still breathing and alive?
From my knowledge, yes, ma'am.
What did you do at that point?
After noticing that the hotel was basically safe or secure at that point in time, more officers started arriving on scene. I went outside to become the scene organizer, started getting crime scene tape up, having officers sit on every single floor in case people started coming out to basically secure the crime scene, and notifying our chain of command and getting the homicide unit to start heading to the scene.
And is that standard procedure that once a individual has been determined to be deceased, gunshot wounds, that the homicide unit would then take over the investigation?
If somebody is deceased on scene, yes, ma'am.
And you said that you did call homicide out there, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
I also want to ask you, show you some of these pictures. I think you already looked at them. 2A, what is that a photograph of?
That's going to be the Holiday Inn where everything occurred.
And the ones that we have talked about, that blood trail, I don't think we saw the whole entire building, but is that the entryway where the blood trail was leading up to?
Yes, ma'am. That would be the entryway and then that sidewalk leading back to the car.
And can you tell us where is the Holiday Inn in relation to Home to Suites?
They're on the same block. If anybody knows Fowler and 40th, they're right there on either the southwest corner of that intersection. And the Home to Suites is sitting more towards 40th Street, and then the Holiday Inn is more on Fowler Avenue.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 2D. Do you see this photographic? Again, you can see the Holiday Inn. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. The Holiday Inn is off to the left.
And you can see the La Quinta. Is that correct?
Correct.
And there is a roadway here What roadway is there?
That'd be Fowler Avenue.
Okay. And can you kind of orient us, like where you would go in this photograph to go back to where the Home to Suites is, where you originally came from?
The Home 2 Suites is going to be back over here, because 40th Street's this way, and then Fowler connects. So the Home 2 Suites is going to be here in South and then the Holiday Inn here.
Mr. Jordan, you say 2D?
Yes, Judge, this is 2D.
Has States 2 been admitted yet?
Judge, I believe I introduced,
No, Judge.
I didn't, I apologize, Judge. We would introduce into evidence states 2A through M.
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Sonardi?
No objection.
Mr. Wise? Mr. Petratus? Admitted?
I'm going to show you 2G. Again, is that a close-up of that same Holiday Inn?
Yes, ma'am.
And again, were there guests that were staying at that hotel when this incident occurred?
Yes, there was, ma'am.
At some point, did the manager want to try the crime scene?
Yeah, when I first entered the hotel, he was coming around the corner with a bunch of towels, and I had to tell him to stop.
Direct him that he was not to touch any of the evidence in that hallway, is that correct, or in
Yes.
the hotel?
Yes, ma'am. He wanted to clean up for the morning so that people coming downstairs didn't see it.
Did you do anything else in furtherance of this investigation?
Other than securing the other crime scenes in the morning, because we had multiple scenes going on, there was other people at the hospital, at Advent Health, there was another car on Fowler Avenue. It's just getting officers to those locations, to secure those locations also.
So as a supervisor and a sergeant that was involved in this investigation, are you getting calls and briefed about other incidences that are connected to this?
Yes, ma'am.
So I first want to ask you about some of the other individuals at the hospital. Were you getting briefed on that there were other people that had received, or another person that had received a gunshot wound related to this case?
Yes, ma'am. Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office actually called into our dispatch and informed me there was another gunshot wound victim at Advent Hospital, and they had also stopped a individual there with a gun.
And is that because that Advent Hospital is in Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office jurisdiction?
Yes, ma'am.
And so based on that, they called Tampa Police Department because there was a connection to your investigation, is that correct?
That is correct.
Based on that, did you send officers from Tampa Police Department to respond to Advent Hospital so that contact could be made with that individual?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
And was that individual later determined to be Camilla Bentley?
I believe so, yes.
And you said that there was also, as part of that investigation, there was a vehicle, is that correct, that was also connected to the shooting that occurred where the victim was shot there at the Home to Suites and Holiday Inn area?
I can't say it was connected because I didn't do that part of the investigation, but there was a supposedly vehicle that was abandoned on like Fowler Avenue area or Fletcher.
You were
near the
alerted
hospital.
to that, is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And as a result, did officers either from the Tampa Police Department, homicide unit, or others respond from your office to that location?
Yes, ma'am, they did.
Your Honor, may I have one moment?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'm sorry, Anna, did you say something? Your Honor, at this time, we pass the witness.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez?
Good afternoon, Sergeant.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sergeant, you were surveilling, or your guys, your squad, part of your squad, was surveilling Truth 18 because it had been kind of a problem location, correct?
That is correct, sir.
Was this a normal surveillance activity for you guys on weekends or certain days?
I'll say it wasn't a surveillance. It was more or less trying to keep people out of certain parking lots because they would show up and cause problems and drinking in the lots and causing noise complaints that the citizens were complaining about. So we were addressing those concerns because we actually had trespass authorizations on those parking lots, so we're keeping those people out.
Right. Some of the units, though, were not actually in the parking lot, right, present and observable. Some of them were in different locations.
That's fair, yes.
Okay. And you also, at that time or during that point in time, had received an email from the intelligence section that Charles Jones, Julio Foolio, was in town in Tampa, correct?
Correct.
And as a result of that, What is MDT?
It's just our message system on our computers.
Were you also being updated or provided intelligence or additional communications as it relates to Mr. Jones and potentially his whereabouts or where he was intending to go or where he had been?
Yes.
So the department, does everybody get those communications, the MDT communications?
Yes. Well, it just depends who's working that night. Because the MDT is a system that goes back from dispatchers to officers.
Right.
So-
And everybody has access to it who's on duty at that particular time.
As long as their call sign's being used to talk. Because there's different ways of communicating on there. Either you can do a broad message to everybody in the department, or you can do individual officers.
Was there also law enforcement that were monitoring his social media activities as well?
One of my officers, Tyler, he actually knew of him and was monitoring it. Yeah. It wasn't done by the department.
Do you know whether there were others that were monitoring his social media as well?
Not that I'm aware of.
Could there have been other members, either through Officer Tyler or on their own, or as maybe advised by someone else, that could have been monitoring that social media activity?
There could have been, yes, sir.
I don't have anything further. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Sonardi, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Wise, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Petratus, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, State Redirect?
Just briefly, Sergeant Portman, is it unusual to receive intelligence from other jurisdictions, for instance, Jacksonville Gang Unit, as to intel if they have any information that known gang members may be in your jurisdiction?
No, ma'am. We get notifications from all kinds of jurisdictions all the time.
And that would just be to put you on alert or notice that something could happen, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And again, when you were stationed at Truth 18, there was nothing unusual or no disturbances happened at that time, is that correct?
That's correct, ma'am. It was a normal crowd that was there all the time.
Did you have any knowledge that Julio Foolio, Charles Jones had been at Truth 18 that night? Did you even know that?
At the time that this happened, no. Didn't
you-
find that out till the next day.
Okay. But while you were there was no indication that him or his group caused any trouble, is that correct?
No, ma'am.
All right. I have nothing further, Judge.
Okay, may this witness be excused?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Sergeant.
Thank
You're
you.
free to go.